Welcome, everyone. Our topic today is energy wisdom takeaways. This is the cards of our guests here. Let me show. Yeah, here is. Um, this is Ronald Stein. I suggest that you visit the LinkedIn page of Ronald. He has each week he has a new production, a new paper. And it's very interesting ones. And this is me, Armando Cavagna. And our topic today, energy wisdom takeaways. And Ronald made a condensated slides with some ideas, and he sent to me, and we are discussing this today. And the first point that we have from Ronald is the following. Ronald, can you read? Yeah,
I see
sure.
it.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first point is about fossil fuels, the basis of products for modern civilization. We came from 1 to 8 billion people in the world, 200
Yeah,
years.
the world populated from 1 to 8 billion in less than 200 years. And it wasn't because of fossil fuels, it was because of the products that are made from fossil fuels. And, today we have longevity that's increased from 40 years of age in the early 1800s to 75 plus today in the wealthy countries that have access to all these products. And it was the products that makes uh, us to generate electricity, the transportation we have today with ships and planes and vehicles, logistics, iPhones, iPads, and different infrastructures. The medical industry didn't exist 200 years ago. So yeah, it's all changed because of the products that we've gotten that are made from fossil fuels.
But Ronald, longevity also rose due to sanitation, medicine, not only fossil fuels.
Oh yeah, longevity, because today we got, hospital systems, they got doctors and medications. All the medications are made from fossil fuels.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we have coal, oil, and natural gas. Oil is black tar. Nobody uses black tar. But if you can process it and throw it through a refinery where they heat it, they beat it, they crack it, they do all these crazy things to it, we get oil derivatives that is the basis of making all the products in our daily lives and the transportation fuels to power the ships and the planes and the cars and the trucks and the machinery that does all the mining and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, it's a different world. We're a
Mhm.
materialistic society.
Yeah, yeah. Consequence of fossil fuels utilization. Yeah, no doubt. Ronald, I have the second point about electricity and transportation, that both are derived from products made from fossil fuels.
Yeah,
Please.
you have to understand that electricity came after oil. Mondo, let me repeat that, came after oil because all the parts to make electricity, we can generate electricity by coal, natural gas, nuclear, hydro, wind, and solar. But all the ways to generate electricity have the same components. They got wires and insulation and computers and air conditioning, and they're all made from the parts and components that are based on fossil fuels. In transportation, to build a ship, to build an airplane, takes a lot of parts and components. And all those parts and components are made from fossil fuels. And then to power the transportation, we need, transportation fuel. So, we've got to make the plane and make the cars and vehicles, but we also have to get them to move, and that's the transportation fuels. And again, that's all coming from refined oil.
Ronald, transportation existed pre fossil fuels, before
Yeah,
fossil
horse and
fuels.
buggy was there, and so
Horse
yeah,
and things like that. Yeah, yeah,
it was pretty
not
much
effective ones.
premature. But
Yeah.
today, the world has 50,000 airplanes and it's 50,000 merchant ships and you know billions of vehicles, and they're
Dependent
all
on.
made from fossil fuels.
Yeah.
And now, after we make them, now we got to power them. And yeah, like I say, EVs might be able to make an electrical vehicle move, but electricity is not going to make an airplane move. It's not going to make a ship move.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Military cars and
Right.
like that.
Yeah, the challenge is that the so-called renewables, wind and solar, only generate electricity. They do not replace the material base of products of our materialistic society. They can make nothing.
That's right. That's right. Good point. Ronald, I have here that you sent to me a list of products made from between 6,000 items.
Well, it's a sampling. I mean, from toothpaste to mascara to grease. I mean, it's, tires. It's pretty extensive. But,
Yeah,
when you go into an airport or a hospital or your office, try and identify something, just one thing, that was not made from fossil
yeah,
fuels. Or conversely, the second question, try and identify something that a wind turbine can make.
nothing.
The wind
Only
turbine can't make anything.
generate electricity. Yeah,
It's just
and
electricity.
without knowing that you have in the United States today, with
Well,
no,
the other thing, Armando, is electricity can charge an iPhone, but electricity cannot make an iPhone.
yeah,
Wind turbines, electricity can make my iPhone work, my iPad, my computer work, but it can't make my iPhone, my iPad, or my computer.
but do you believe that chemistry without fossil fuel derived products will be possible in the future?
Well, we've had 200 years to replace fossil fuels and been unable to do it. And that's the challenge. That's going to be the challenge for humanity because, eventually we will run out of oil. I mean, oil is a natural resource of planet Earth. And currently we're using like 100 million barrels a day. We're basically extracting it, but we're not replenishing it. And the extraction rate will run dry. The well will run dry at some time. Current estimates of reserves, a lot of countries have more oil than other countries, but the reserves right now with current technology, and technology keeps changing, so we might find more oil in the years ahead. But current estimates are like 100 to 200 years of reserves. But what if technology really improves and we have 500 years of reserves or 1,000 years of reserves?
Mhm.
Armando, this 4 billion year planet is going to be here with or without us.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
1,000 years of a 4 billion year planet
yeah,
is just a microsecond. So, yeah, we definitely have to find a path forward. And either that, or we got to focus on conservation and efficiencies and make what we have last a lot longer.
yeah. Perfect, perfect. Ronald, let me show the number for point number three. Uh, that's the point that you mentioned before. Renewables cannot replace 6,000 fossil fuel products.
Exactly, because solar and wind, they don't produce any products. They're only generating electricity. And the EV and the internal combustion engine, materialistically, they're identical. They're all made with oil. The tires, the wires, the insulation. The only thing different is the EV is powered by a battery and the internal combustion engine is powered by gasoline. So if you get rid of the internal combustion engine, you're getting rid of one of the 6,000 products, gasoline.
That's a
And
good one.
we still got 5,999 other products that have to be replaced. So getting rid of fossil fuels is going to get rid of those 5,999 products.
Yeah, one only. Yeah, very good, very good. Let me go to the point number four. Green electricity transition eliminates products demanded by today's society. What do you mean
That
by that?
that's the main thing. People keep talking about the wind and solar energy. But Armando, wind and solar is not wind and solar energy. It's only wind and solar electricity, because that's the only thing it can generate
Mhm,
under favorable weather conditions.
mhm.
But it's generating electricity, but today's society is a materialistic society. So we really got to find ways to get the materials to make the products. And, critical minerals, they're intensive, they're concentrated mining. China and Africa, China's probably dominating 90% of the exotic minerals and metals. And I guess the sad thing is China and Africa, they have no labor laws. They've got no environmental laws. So we're allowing China and Africa to exploit people who have yellow, brown, and black skin to mine for this stuff. And, so we can go green in the wealthy countries. So that's becoming unethical to even consider that. If you recall, the reason I wrote this book, Clean Energy Exploitations, it was
Mm.
nominated for Pulitzer Prize, was it brings to the fact that, yeah, all those exotic minerals and metals, they're coming from developing countries. And we're basically exploiting people with yellow, brown, and black skin and exploiting their lands so the wealthy countries can go green. That is, in my point of view, it's unethical. It's up to the buyers to make that decision. But
And what's the case of Greenland in this situation?
well, they've got a lot of minerals and metals, and it's interesting because in the United States, two of the largest economies in the world, the United States and China, they have the least amount of oil reserves, so they need the oil reserves to make all the products. And the United States, because China controls right now about 90% of the exotic minerals and metals, and Trump he's looking 10, 20 years ahead because, we need a little bit more control of the exotic minerals and metals with everything going to automation, artificial intelligence, data centers. There's a lot of exotic minerals and metals used in all the electronics
Mhm.
of today's age. And yeah, for national security, he wants to get a handle on it. So that's why he wants to buy the world.
Yeah.
So,
And,
but the interesting thing too is he's probably right. We'll run out. We'll be 100% dependent on China as the years go on,
yeah.
and he wants to change that. But he's going to be out of office in a couple of years, and so who knows what the next president is going to think. So
Yeah.
it'll be different.
Yeah. Nielsen must see it the same way.
Well, Newsom is anti-Trump, so anything Trump is doing, he will
Yeah.
negate it. So we'll go back to the beginning. We'll be back
So,
to the horse and buggy.
yeah, the opposite thinking. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Let me go to the point number 5. Net zero. Oh my God, something so complex at this time.
Yeah, net zero. The interesting thing about net zero is Venezuela's gotten a lot of press recently. And the thing that really got my attention is after 20 years of socialistic control, they've got 30 million people living in Venezuela, and 90%, that's 27 million out of the 30 million people, are living in poverty. Now, the staggering thing is the fact that we got 8 billion people on the planet, and more than 80% are living in poverty. So there's more than 6 billion living in poverty, and the 30 million in Venezuela living in poverty, that's only 5% of the 6 billion throughout the world living in poverty. These people, they can't afford net zero. They can't subsidize themselves out of a paper bag.
Mhm.
Remember, it's only the wealthy countries that are quote, quote, going green because wind turbines, solar panels are financed by wealthy governments, subsidies, et cetera, because no wind turbines have been financed by private money. There's no return on investment. So
Yeah.
it's just a, a wealthy country move to generate electricity with wind and solar. But yeah, the net zero, it's not affordable by the
Mhm.
other 6 billion people on this planet.
Ronald, what's happening with solar panels and wind turbines with snow covering almost the entire United States territory?
Disaster. Well, they require a lot of maintenance. And, when you think about it, all the green solutions, the green solutions, I'm talking about wind turbines, solar panels, and electric vehicles are all oil-based solutions. The EV, 100% made with oil, from the tires, the wires, the insulation, the wind turbines, the blades, your fiberglass, it's all
Like
made with wind turbines.
batteries.
Right, and they've all got wires and insulation, and same thing with solar panels. Without fossil fuels, you wouldn't be able to build solar panels, wouldn't be able to build wind turbines, wouldn't be able to build EVs. So if we get rid of fossil fuels, we're going to get rid of electricity. We're going to get rid of the transportation.
Yeah.
Be no need for airports.
And Ronald, what type of energy is replacing solar and wind at this time with no?
Well, I think that the big trend, everybody, if you really want electricity, reliable electricity, continuous electricity, I think the trends can be toward nuclear. You know, the Navy has a 70-year track record of safety. They run all the submarines on nuclear, all the aircraft carriers on nuclear, and 70-year track record. And it's got a phenomenal safety track record throughout the world. And you know, the United States was a leader. We might
In
be
the
a
past?
follower now because you know Russia's moving forward, China's moving forward
Yeah,
with nuclear,
yeah.
and I guess the best thing for the 6 billion people on this planet is we can get them electricity through the concept of the small modular reactors. You don't need a big monster facility.
Yeah.
You can just get a little one and service, you know, 100,000 people.
Yeah, but Ronald, nuclear power takes a long time to reconstruct, to restart. During this time, what type of energy? Gas, natural gas, or
Well, natural gas is that's probably the cleanest way, and there's a lot of movement that way. Um, China, I think there's throughout the world there's about 400 or 500 coal-fired power plants now under construction
Mhm.
because they need electricity, need continuous electricity, and you can't get it from wind and solar. You can't operate an operating room with intermittent electricity. If you're a surgeon, you sure would like to have the lights on all the time.
Ronald, politicians don't know about this difference of fossil fuels and electricity generators. They don't know. They don't want to know. What exactly? What?
Armando, I think the confusion is the use of the word energy. They keep referring to wind and solar energy, and they're comparing out to fossil fuel energy. But they do different things. Wind and solar only can generate electricity. You know, natural gas is used as a source to generate electricity. Coal is burned to generate electricity. Oil is never used to generate
No.
electricity. Nobody burns oil. And like I say, if you build a multi-billion-dollar refinery, then you're going to heat it and beat it and crack it and do all those crazy things to it and get the transportation fuels. The transportation fuels vary. You got gasoline and diesel, you know, bunker fuel for the merchant ships and you know, the space launches or special transportation fuels. So yeah, there's a lot of fuels and the refineries out of a 1 barrel of oil, about 80% of it goes into fuels, and 15 to 20% is for the derivatives that makes those 6,000 products.
Yeah.
So
Petrochemicals.
you gotta be able to, you know, if you want to get rid of fossil fuels, you got to ask the question: well, how are you going to build a car? How are you going to build a ship? How are you going to build a plane without the products? And the second question is, how you get a plane off the ground without fossil fuels, and how you get a ship to move without fossil fuels.
No electricity was used to capture Maduro from Venezuela, I suppose.
Right. Well, the recent article I published was really to question because this is a year of elections. A lot of in the United States, a lot of people are running for mayor, for governor, and ultimately, you know, for president. And I don't want to embarrass these politicians. I just want to find out what energy wisdom they have. So I've kind of given a suggestion for ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, you know, the people conducting these interviews, ask these questions because there's got to be conversations.
Yeah.
the concept that we're going to get rid of fossil fuels and replace it with wind and solar, time out. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Armand, I was interviewed on a New York TV station recently, and they said, "Hey, Ron, we understand you're pro-oil." I said, "Time out. I'm not pro-oil. I'm pro the products we get from oil. If there's another way to get those products, I'm 100% in favor of it."
Yeah.
But Armando, we've had 200 years, and right now we're trying to support 8 billion people on this planet. You could pick one of those items, and maybe you can make it with something else. But like I say, we got to find something that can scale and meet the supply demand requirements of those 8 billion people.
Yeah.
And the 6 billion people in poverty, technically, they haven't joined the Industrial Revolution. They've
Exactly.
probably never heard of a podcast. They probably don't have an iPhone. And if once they join the Industrial Revolution, they're going to want to use some of the things that we take for granted.
Mhm.
And that's going to be a challenge. So, we really got to focus on finding a replacement before we eliminate it.
That's right. That's the perfect point. We do not have replacement for the oil today. So
Exactly. Because, when people want to get rid of fossil fuels, I'm 100% in favor, but what's your backup plan?
well, yeah, which product can replace it? There is no
Right.
one. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, everything, like you say, from toothpaste to mascara, you name it.
This is the
Yeah.
crucial point. Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Because wind turbines can make nothing.
Yeah, this should this should be the title for or a topic for what's the replacement for oil. So there is no one.
We've had 200 years to come up with it, and
Well, yeah.
been not able to do it.
It's a
When you
long
take a
time.
look at, you can Google, the 6,000 products, and you showed a sample of it, but to see everything, and it's just amazing that,
Yeah.
people just take for
Dependence.
granted that.
High dependence. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
And you see a tire. How do you make a tire? You're not gonna make a tire from wind turbine.
yeah. No, impossible. To close our conversation today, our podcast, please make recommendations to Mr. Trump and Chris from the Energy Department and from Nielsen, Governor Nielsen. Please do this.
Well,
please.
I send my articles to Trump. I don't send them to Newsom because Newsom is dyslexic. He has a hard time reading, but he's memorized the dictionary. He can talk for hours with no notes.
4 hours. It's impressive. It's so extensive. Oh my God. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he sounds good. He looks good, but when he's done, it's kind of like, what do you say?
So, do you believe that Mr. Trump and Mr. Chris are doing a very good job in terms of energy solutions?
Believe it or not, although Trump has a weird personality, I guess I could summarize it that way. He does understand energy. Same thing with Chris Wright. They do understand that, products and electricity are totally different. And, who knows, the next president and vice president in the Department of Energy, who knows? We might be going totally backwards.
Oh
But
my God.
they
Totally
do
opposite.
comprehend. And like I said, my motivation in all my articles and books I've written is to stimulate conversations. What is the backup plan? I'm
Yeah, the backup plan. Yeah.
100% in favor of
Replacement.
cleaning up and stop using plastics. But plastics is just one of the 6,000 products
Yeah, it's
that
impressive.
come out of fossil fuels. And it's amazing. Like I said, I'm here in my office looking at everything in my office, and
Around you.
it's all made with fossil fuels.
Yeah.
Even from the writing pens and the highlighters, and
Everything.
everything. So stimulating conversations, that's going to be
Yeah.
the key. And like I said, these questions I'm providing the news channels is, just have these people provide us, their energy wisdom. Do they understand?
Yeah.
There is a difference between electricity and products.
Yeah.
Because I try and avoid using the word energy as much as possible because it gets confused. If you're talking wind and solar, that's electricity. But where are the products going to come from? Because if you don't have products, you have no electricity. If you don't have the products, you have no transportation.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
If you don't have the products, you don't have hospitals, you don't have airports, you don't have shopping centers. We're back to the 1800s. They had no products then.
Yeah, that's fine. Before we go, please show the cover of your book that you showed before. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Clean energy exploitations. In fact, the cover photo is a photo from Africa.
Oh,
There's a military guy with an Uzi overseeing a family mining for cobalt.
perfect.
That's
Ronald Stein, was a great pleasure again, and let's schedule another one.
fantastic.